Sometimes, the thirst for adventure can take you to the most unexpected places, including those at the bottom of the earth. In this two-part adventure to Australia's southernmost tip, we discover where many expeditions began into the great unknown. Together with good friends, we embark on a discovery of the rustic charms and wild wilderness of Tasmania. This adventure began in Madrid when I first learned of fellow pilot Michel Gordillo's mission. A familiar chord is struck once round-the-world flyers come together, and we enjoyed sharing many flying stories. His third circumnavigation will collect important data on carbon emissions over the Earth's poles and set a world record for an aircraft of its size. Michel has completed half of the mission and was already gearing up for the second part of his journey.
I wish you luck. I don't know, maybe we see each other before then.
Yes.
And if I have the opportunity and the time,
You told me that you are going to meet me somewhere.
maybe I meet you somewhere to cheer for you. Go, go, go.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Making good with my promise to meet up with him in one of the legs of his mission, I found myself in Tasmania to help him gear up for his Antarctic flight. Tasmania is located 240 kilometers at the bottom of Australia's mainland. About 45% of the island is preserved wilderness. For an island of its size, its population numbers to only around 500,000 people, mostly living in the capital, Hobart. As I waited for Michel's arrival, I started exploring its scenic waterfront.
Hobart is Australia's southernmost capital city. It was once the center of whaling and the shipbuilding industry.
Established by the British Empire as a penal colony in 1803, the waterfront is where convicts first step ashore to an unfamiliar territory. The harbor sits at the River Derwent that empties itself to the Tasman Sea. If you keep going southward, the next land you will see is already Antarctica. Because of this, Hobart became a jump-off point for many Antarctic expeditions throughout history. One such explorer was Luis Bernacchi, of Italian and Belgian descent, but was educated in Hobart. An astronomer, physicist, and photographer, he did several expeditions and was one of the first people to spend winter in Antarctica. Just seeing these historical markers make me feel that Hobart is indeed the perfect place to begin any adventure, and I can't wait to start mine. I chance upon some fishermen already preparing the day's catch.
And on a good day, what sort of catch do you get?
How many kilos did you get? What, this trip?
Yeah.
About 2.5 tons.
That's a lot.
With such an abundant catch, restaurants serving fresh seafood dominate Hobart's dining scene. One iconic seafood restaurant sitting on Victoria Dock is Mures, known for their hook-to-plate philosophy. With their own fishing vessel, they make sure to serve only the freshest catch.
And here you are, fisherman's basket and a Mures marinade.
It looks very good.
Wonderful, enjoy.
I'm not sure if I can finish all this.
I reckon you'll manage. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Fish and chips are a local specialty, and the flathead fish was perfect for the recipe. Even the seagulls couldn't wait to try my shrimp and calamari. Of course, I had to try the oysters. Really fresh.
Perfect.
Paired with one of Mures' great quality wine that is also produced from Tasmania's vineyards. It was the best meal to have as you savor the sea breeze in the marina. Up next, I ventured to Dryland and learn more about Hobart's heritage as I finally catch up with Michel before he goes on his Antarctic flight. Hobart is the second oldest Australian city after Sydney and was inhabited by Aboriginal tribes for at least 8,000 years prior to British occupation. Overcrowded prisons prompted the British government to transport convicts to their colonies overseas. They endured the 8-month-long journey from England to Hobart and found themselves here, almost at the very ends of the earth.
Hobart was a penal colony established in 1803, and some structures here in the city are reminders of its convict past.
The Penitentiary Chapel, or the Tench, was said to house the most merciless solitary confinement cells beneath its chapel floors. The chapel is a rare example of Georgian-style church architecture. Other buildings in Hobart reflect its colonial past, built from brick or sandstone, making use of convict labor. But as free settlers also began to arrive from England, Hobart experienced a period of growth as new industries were explored. Today, the old city seems to beat with a young and lively energy, with many of its old spaces and buildings repurposed for modern use. Just like these old sandstone warehouses that used to hold whale oil and other products from the port.
Salamanca Place is named after the victory of the Duke of Wellington in Salamanca, Spain. Today, it is the site of a popular outdoor market here in Hobart.
On Saturdays, all roads lead to the Salamanca market. The Georgian architecture still stands, now holding shops and offices surrounded by hundreds of market stalls. The square really comes alive with bustling activity. It is also a good chance to see all kinds of local produce, food, craft, and other interesting finds. Proudly made Tasmanian products can be found here, including a fired-up Barbie. After a nice stroll at the market, I headed for the Hobart-Cambridge Airport, where we expect Michel to finally arrive from Mildura.
Buenas tardes.
Doing.
So how was it? Everything good?
Yes, it was very nice.
At this point, Michel has already traveled 12,500 miles from Madrid, across Africa, flying over the Indian Ocean, down to Australia. Over dinner, we discussed the next critical part of his journey.
Michel, from Hobart to Antarctica, issues are what?
Issues, it's a strategy. Strategy is for this first leg, that is about 15 hours flight, is icing. I am very concerned with icing because this aircraft is not prepared for icing. So I will load the airplane with enough fuel.
Loading more fuel would mean added weight for the plane, which can be a concern.
This aircraft is designed to fly as it is light, not to put a lot of load. Now I have a fuel tank underneath that produce more gas, and I will have a skis.
If you have more drag with the skis.
Yes,
Skis need to be installed so Michel can land on areas where there are no runways, only ice. Of course, the added weight and drag of the skis can also be an issue.
For you, the most critical leg is
That one.
yeah.
That's the one that make me to be concerned. Some night I feel concerned about it.
There were plenty of other logistical issues to look at, and this is where a pilot's decision-making skills are fully tested. I asked Michel how he felt about the Antarctic crossing.
You know that it has been attempted many times.
Yes.
We have not got. If it doesn't work, it can happen to me exactly the same.
This is like the first boats trying to get to North or South Pole. So if you do this, you will be the first one.
The first one with an aircraft under 1,500 kilograms.
With Michel's landing safely in Hobart, it was time to get to work and prepare for a successful flight onward to Antarctica. But not before getting up close and personal with some of Tasmania's unique critters. That's up next. My friend Michel Gordillo, who is doing a round-the-world flight over the Earth's poles, has now made it to Hobart before crossing to Antarctica. Before we went to work on his plane, he complains that he has not seen a single kangaroo throughout the flight over Australia, except the one on his sandwich. So I brought him along with me to visit the Bonorong Wildlife Sanctuary, a place where one can see Tasmania's unique critters being cared for by a team of conservationists.
Hello. Hey, Greg, we're here. We made it.
Welcome, welcome.
My friend Michel.
Welcome,
from
Michel.
Spain.
Welcome to our sanctuary. I'm really excited to show you around.
We're excited to see the animals.
Well, we have lots of animals waiting very patiently for you, so let's go and play.
Okay.
Bonorong Wildlife Sanctuary, run by Greg and his able team, is not a zoo, but a place where rescued animals are nursed back to health before they are released into the wild. By encouraging visitors, they not only get to fund the needs of these animals, but also gives everyone a chance to see these wildlife up close. Greg introduces us to some of them, like the sleepy wombat.
So, Greg, what is this cute little baby doing here?
This is an orphan, unfortunately. So this is little Judy. Her mum was hit by a car. So it's an unfortunate incident. But just like a kangaroo, a wombat actually lives inside a pouch. Okay, so this little one would be around about maybe 6 or 7 months old. And we will care for her until she's nearly an adult and then release her back to the wild.
And what do they normally eat?
In the wild, they'll eat grass mainly, is their main source of food. But at this age, it's mainly milk from mum. So we have a special formula that we give them to keep them nice and healthy and strong.
Yes.
But we still like a snooze. 16 hours a day.
That's important.
Absolutely.
I wish I could sleep that good.
I'll tell you, absolutely. We know that there's not any milk there, do we, hey? Mwah. Look at that face.
Nice face,
mate.
yes.
Absolutely.
With the ears and everything.
Oh, mate, there's no one who doesn't love a wombat. I'll let her go back and have a rest.
Sure.
We'll go meet some more.
Some animals have actually become extinct in other parts of Australia. But Tasmania is a final refuge for many species. Its isolation has given it fewer introduced predators and a large area of intact habitat on the island.
You always think that you should be embracing a koala when you're with one.
I have never seen some of these animals before in my life. The echidna, or spiny anteater, is an egg-laying mammal that is a relative of the more famous duck-billed platypus.
Now, this guy here was attacked by a dog, so he's missing half of one of his legs. That's why he's in care with us.
Okay.
Randall, come on, darling. That's what's going on here. All right, so if you just lay your hand down like this.
Sure.
Okay, come nice and low. Okay, and just cup your hand a little bit.
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, he's licking it like a dog.
So he has a tongue that's 20 centimetres long.
Yeah.
So they're an anteater, so you can reach in and hook them. Have a feel of the spines. They're not sharp because they're hair,
Okay.
but they're obviously for protection.
Worrying if you see them.
Yeah, they shoot them at people that aren't from Tasmania.
Now, if you don't look too closely, you wouldn't notice these birds perch on the tree.
What I'm going
The tawny frogmouths are carnivorous birds whose mouths can open wide like that of frogs.
Nice. You ready? Okay. Okay, there you go. Wow, is that good?
Not much chewing.
Yeah, they just swallow straight through.
They look like they can snap meat very easily.
After what Michel said about my neck, I'm watching my neck all the time.
Of course, we had to see the famous Tasmanian devil face to face.
Okay, so these are two of our Tasmanian devils that we have here. Obviously, this is a species that everyone wants to see in Tasmania. They are unique only to our island. They're a scavenger that eats any form of meat, but they have very powerful jaws. So their role is to be our vacuum cleaner in the forest. They eat the bones, the fur, absolutely everything. Nothing is left when a devil's finished. They also have a pouch, like our wombat, like our
Really?
kangaroo. They're called devil because of their vocalisations. The first settlers came to Tasmania and heard them screaming at each other, and they thought Tasmania was haunted with demons, devils and banshees. So they were named a devil before they were ever sighted, and the name just stuck. So nothing to do with their behaviour at all.
So they're barking like dogs also?
Yeah, that's a little communication sound. So they have a variety of different sounds, from that to hissing when they're just giving a little warning to us or to one another. And lots in the actions. They'll open their mouth very wide to show their large teeth, just as a bit of a warning to people. They're not a ferocious animal. They're very misunderstood.
Greg's passion in caring for these animals and his incredible connection with them was infectious.
But Greg, how did you discover your love for animals? Was it one day you're walking, you see these animals and you started rolling with them and your mom said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
How did it happen?
I'll tell you the way I like to describe it. I think an artist who loves art was just born with it. I think a musician who loves music was just born with it. For me, it was always animals from a very young age.
I can see your connection with everything. I mean, it's a natural thing.
My dream was not for a park full of animals, it was to look after animals that need help. So that's why we made it a sanctuary. We started the rescue service, which is the main one in Tasmania.
Greg's story of pushing for his dreams was indeed very inspiring. And now, he is making a big difference not only for Tasmania's wildlife, but also in educating more people in preserving them. And before we left, Michel finally gets to see some kangaroos.
And they're used to people being around.
Yeah, that's right. So this is a forester kangaroo, so only found in Tasmania.
Oh.
So look, one of the ways they communicate is through touch.
Okay.
So that's why we don't pat kangaroos on the head or on the back. In kangaroo talk, that's saying go away.
Oh, when you pat them in the head.
Yeah, that's right. So here is a communication
Oh,
spot,
okay.
and it's a spot that they can't reach. So they absolutely love it. It's like me giving you a scratch in the middle of the back.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting, huh? I didn't even know that.
It was nice to be able to feed and interact with them.
It's a hard life as a kangaroo. Being hand-fed, lounging around.
Yes. That's a great idea for you to think about this. I think everybody who's not from here would like to have a chance to be with the kangaroos.
That's right. Sometimes I just like having a lie down with them.
Okay.
After a nice afternoon spent in the wildlife sanctuary, Michel and I head back to the Hobart Cambridge Airport, where an aviation festival was being held for the local community. Families can enjoy seeing the aircraft up close, and a good opportunity to spark an interest in flying for the kids. For Michel and I, it was time to roll up our sleeves and do some work on his aircraft, as he plans to fly out of Hobart in the next few days. It was a good thing that the guys from the Aero Club of Southern Tasmania volunteered to help out.
So can I just ask about the club? So you have a local club here in Cambridge. Is it a flying
Yeah.
club that's helping out?
It started in 1947 with Second World War pilots
Okay.
and teaching to fly with Second World War primary trainers, Tiger Moss.
Wow.
And then
it was the
went
same
through
airstrip.
from Australia. Yes.
And so you've heard about Michel going around and passing by Hobart, and you all volunteered to help?
Well, aviation being what it is, we're all aviation enthusiasts, so yeah. So.
Aviation brothers.
Oh, that's right. And we thought, pitch in, give him a hand.
First, we had to take out the aircraft scowling. It was challenging, as the aircraft was very streamlined. The oil filter needed to be replaced. Next was a visual inspection of all hoses, cables, and wirings. These tasks are normally reserved for certified mechanics, but since Michel built the aircraft himself, he knows it better than anyone else. Local reporters also caught wind of Michel's historic flight and decided to pop in for some interviews. Finally, we had to install the skis on the aircraft. Since it didn't come with very detailed instructions, Michel had to rely on these old pilots to step in and figure things out.
So that would be tricky taking off.
Well,
Very small margin.
they must have designed it to get past the tyre. It's nearly past.
Or do we jack the airplane a bit? I don't know.
We've never flown with skis before, and these have to be properly fitted.
And you're right in the center here.
Close to the tyre now.
If you do that up,
Yeah.
see, there's nothing for this to go against anyway.
Right,
Against
right.
the bolts there anyway, Joyce. So
It's because of this
it's the
metal. You're
and
right.
I think this shim is.
Well, you probably have to put one over there on the other side. What do you think? There. And where do we tie this up?
Yes, that's going there.
Okay.
We had an issue with the skis on the tail section, as one of the bolts lost its threading. But it was nothing these guys couldn't handle. Pretty soon, the RV-8 can land on ice. It was indeed going to be one for the history books and will make a big advancement in the field of science, environmental studies, and aviation. Pretty soon, it was time for Michel to leave Hobart. I was very happy for him, as he will soon join the ranks of Antarctica's fearless explorers. Meanwhile, I continue on my own adventure, exploring the vast wilderness of the sea, land, and air of untamed Tasmania.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asian Air Safari. It is hard life.